all the scars and all the lines on my face, they show the times I've abandoned my own life. Why? I can't breathe, I can't eat, so I just drink myself to sleep and embrace this morbid price. Maybe it's time to heal, maybe it's time to try, maybe it's time to deal with all the pieces in my life. Well, maybe I'll sober up, maybe before I die, maybe I'll finally deal with all the wreckage in my life. They turn to dust, soon enough they'll blow away. When I was young, I was dumb, but I was never strong enough. I wish I had the guts to say, maybe it's time to heal, maybe it's time to try. In my life, maybe I'll sober up, maybe before I die, maybe I'll finally deal with all the wreckage in my life. Maybe it's time. And this was self-inflicted. Yeah, I was on a mission to ruin everything in life. Just take my hand, it's steady, and we will make it through the time.
You just want to step out of it, to step out of the whole race, the whole business. The monstrosity of being alive overwhelms you.
If you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, if you have any kind of mental health condition, this is not something to ignore.
Depression, frustration, anxiety, pain, disillusion. It's just a natural part of the process of becoming a stronger version of yourself.
The thing that keeps one living is a sense of future, that there will be a tomorrow, and tomorrow I've got to do this, and then the day after I've got to do that.
Get started. And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is.
Quit. Don't you quit. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. You do make a difference. As weak as you are, as tired as you are, as many mistakes as you made, you do make a difference. There is something they would lose if you were not there. There was something that they would miss if you were not there. You do make a difference. You do make a difference.
Alcoholic, I talk about, some warning signs, The idea of, have you been through it to talk about it and see, this is what you go through. It's like there is this thing for alcoholics called a blackout, which isn't really a blackout. It's more like sleepwalking with activities. And I believe it's your conscience going into a witness protection program, going, you're about to have sex with a hobbit. I've got to go now. I remember stopping it on my own because I was about to have a son. And I didn't want to be coked up going, hey, Dad loves you. Here's a little switch. I'm going to throw up on you. You don't want to be like that. And I had to kind of go, but I did it alone. The idea is you got to surrender. You got to just say, I can't do it. Because, I went to rehab with a lot of doctors and psychiatrists. And the more intelligent you think you are, the harder it is to let go. You think, I've got a solution. I'll just drink a little bit. And then you have to go, nope, you lose. You can't do it. You need help. And at that point, that's the beginning. And then, once you do that, you're out and run.
The drugs came in years after I was already drinking crazy, and it was just I wasn't into opioids or anything like that. I was really more into uppers, and it was like, oh wow, this is a good way to keep the party going, and that magic or the luster wears off pretty quickly. I got to a point where I couldn't function without having drugs every 30 minutes, and it's like so I went from partying here and there to an 8-ball a day, and it's like, so that I think was probably about like a 3 to 4 month stint before I realized this is out of control, and I became quite suicidal at the time and everything. So I stopped doing drugs before I quit drinking, and then I ended up quitting drinking 13 years ago. So
had bouts of depression before, but I had been able to avoid really falling into the really dark depression. I was so ashamed about being on medication because I was like, I wrote firework. Hard work, not meeting expectations. I had broken up with Orlando. You create art and you're excited for it to be received by the world, and when it's not received by the world, when it's kind of like, no thank you, you're like, oh shit, that doesn't feel good. It got me out of this loop of being like a really desperate, thirsty pop star that felt like they had to be number one all the time. And now I feel like I can create and be more dimensional as an artist and also as a human being.
And I know that anxiety is like the number one thing. Yeah, I think I'm hopeful that the taboo of it is all going away because more and more people are talking about it. I think talking about it is the most important thing. For my generation, I feel like it was depression and suicide. And suicide is super prevalent still, but now it's like it comes from a place of anxiety. Yeah. And I get that. I fully understand that. And I've been depressed. I have anxiety. I overthink everything, but what I do is I keep the right people around me and I go to therapy. I am a hard person to be in a relationship with. I have a really high bar for myself and a really high bar for others, and that makes it very difficult to love me. I recommend therapy or journaling or write like songs for me. I've exorcised so many demons from just putting it to paper.
Who would like this $20 bill?
I do.
I'm going to give it to one of you, but first, let me do this. Okay, now, who still wants it?
I do.
And what if I do this? And who wants it now?
I do.
My dear students, I've just showed you a very important lesson. No matter what I did with this money, you still wanted it because it never lost its worth. It's still worth $20. Well, there
many times in our lives when we feel like life has crumbled us up and ground us into the dirt. We may make some bad decisions or have to deal with some poor circumstances. Sometimes lives can make us feel worthless. But no matter what has happened, no matter what will happen, you never lose your worth. You never lose.
You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah? That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
Don't buy into the bullshit that dope makes you more creative, because it does not. I mean, I ain't dead, but I'm damaged goods. But you know what? If I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And you know what? It's better. I'm not just blowing my own trumpet. Today, it's better. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know I didn't get loaded yesterday. But today, it's great. It's great to be alive.
It was the most horrible thing. I remember when I first got my first panic attack, I thought I was going to die. And I didn't know what was going on. That's when I was drinking at the time a lot heavily and drugs and everything else. Figured out that was one of the reasons why, you know, that it's so hard to deal with anxiety and depression, because you don't know what's going on. You feel like you're going crazy. I started getting really paranoid and thinking that medicine was bad for me. I wouldn't take any kinds of meds or anything like that. I actually turned a little bit schizophrenic for a while. Anxiety can do that to you. I think after my grandfather died, I went into a really bad depression, and I finally gave up. I said, I gotta get clean. And my little boy, Nathan, at the time he was 3 years old, I came home drunk, and he looked at me like I was a piece of shit. And I think people with suffer depression need to find something, an outlet to express themselves and let those bad things out of their head. I mean, it helped me.
Don't get caught up in the booze and the BS, the excesses, you know, because they start to pile up really quick, especially when you're in a trench with your buddies, and it becomes the way that it becomes a way for you to kind of bond, but then it develops into something a lot more destructive. All of a sudden you're not on the road anymore, and you're like, real life. It's such a different mode of thought, really. I mean, the only real way I can make sense of it is to know that it was kind of in me to begin with. Being in that situation for those many years just kind of upped the ante, you know? Knowing that, you know, I mean, there's still huge pieces of time that I don't remember. And it's sad because, you know, that was when I should have been paying attention.
What's up, everybody? Ivan Moody here, celebrating 1 year of sobriety today. 365 days without a drink on my lips. I'm speechless, man. A lot of people didn't think I'd make it 24 hours, and to be honest with you, there were times I didn't either. But I have a great team around me, great spot. I'm trying not to tear up right now. I'm just really proud, and it's not even about me necessarily today. It's about the people that did make it. I met a lot of great people in and out of recovery, and on the road for that matter, and I still talk to people that are battling this disease. You're the ones that are in my thoughts, and I'm with you every step of the way, whether you have 24 hours or you have 24 years. You keep the fight. 1, 2, 3.
Somebody save me from myself. I spent so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help. All of this drinking and smoking is hopeless, but feel like it's all that I need. Something inside of me's broken. I hold on to anything that sets me free. I'm a lost cause, baby. so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams. What if the night sky was missing the moon? There were no shooting stars to use wishing on you. And all of my sorrows, I just washed them down. It's the only peace I've ever found. All of this drinking and smoking is hopeless, but feel like it's all that I need. Something inside of me's broken. I hold on to anything that sets me free. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams.
As you get older, you start stacking up life experiences, and then your vision of life changes and your experiences in life change. And it's no longer about just finding this dark, brooding place to be. Well, I would say that she had a lot of input in my decision to quit drinking. It's easy to fall into, being a quote, rock star. You sort of, there's a part of you that feels like that's what you're supposed to do. So I think that it takes a little bit of growing up to get past that. 5 years ago, and a lot of things professionally were going on in my life, personally were going on in my life, I was using that more as a crutch to get past some of those things instead of dealing with them. And so I thought that could be dangerous, because the further you got away from dealing with things and sort of blunted it with alcohol or drugs or whatever you're using, the harder it was going to be to deal with it in the long run. That being said, I still haven't dealt with anything, but at least I'm sober.
Keep showing up. If no one invests in you, invest in yourself. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself. Even if you don't see the results right away, keep showing up until you do see the results. Even if you don't see the results for a very, very long time, keep showing up. What if the results don't come? They're not going to come if you quit. Keep showing up. I'm tired. Keep showing up. I don't feel like it. Keep showing up. I can't see any results. Keep showing up. I don't know where to start. Just start. Do something. Take that first step. Every step you take adds.
I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not going to be the last to go through it. And oftentimes it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you, and you're in your bubble. And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's going to be okay. It'll be okay. So I wish I knew that. Just gotta remember. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith that on the other side of your pain is something good.
Hello everyone, good morning. Well, New Year's coming. It's been a tough year, full of grief and sadness for many, many, many people. But 45 years ago today, I had a wake-up call. I was heading for disaster, drinking myself to death. I'm not preachy, but I got a message, a little thought that said, do you want to live or die? And I said, I want to live. And suddenly the relief came, and my life has been amazing. And I have my off days and sometimes little bits of doubt and all that, but all in all, I say hang in there. Today is the tomorrow you were so worried about yesterday. You young people, don't give up. Just keep in there. Just keep fighting. Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. And that sustained me through my life. And that's all I've got to say.
I got sober. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And it is a most human thing to say, I am in trouble, I need help. And I think it scares people off because it seems daunting. And I can tell you from my own experience that the single greatest accomplishment of my human life was arresting my addiction to opiates and alcohol. If it's a secret, it will kill you. If it's not a secret, you may be able to save your own life. The truth of the matter is, nobody is ready until they're ready. Nobody can hear things until they're ready to hear them. And so there would be nothing I could have said that would have helped me in that moment.
I knew what I was doing. I knew that I didn't necessarily need it, but I sure liked the way it felt. You know, I tell people all the time that I took 15 biking and ES at one time, and they're like, that didn't knock you out? And I said, it did totally the opposite. I was up. And that's kind of the way with addictions too. I mean, what it's supposed to do, it doesn't. And this went on for a long time. It wasn't just 96. How long? I mean, that's when people knew about it, right, because of the announcement. I don't know. I mean, it started 3 years before, maybe. I mean, I was taking pain pills before that, but maybe not abusing them. Internally, I'd hit rock bottom, and I said, I'm going to flush these down the toilet, the remainders. I just went cold turkey, and I don't say that braggingly, but I know that was the worst month.
You know, I think drinking for so many years was a giant Band-Aid for stuff in my life, and then once I quit drinking, I filled it up with just like overworking myself, and it was just a bad situation, you know, and I like wasn't the best dad, you know. I just couldn't make it work, you know. And I think stress and everything else, like, actually Dan talked me into it, you know, said, man, maybe you should go get some help. F you, I don't need no help. You know, but then when you're all by yourself in my shop and there's a million paparazzi and I can't go anywhere and everybody hates me and I don't have any friends, and you start feeling like the weight of the world, if it was something that I didn't cause myself, then I think it would be easier to digest. I went and, like, let me tell you, man, it's the best gift you could ever give to yourself.
When you're an addict, you have more than just a couple, you know, bad experiences. That lifestyle, the people in that lifestyle don't have your best interest at heart. I experienced multiple seizures from cocaine, smoking cocaine, shooting cocaine, heroin overdoses, you know, all kinds of crazy experiences. Wow. Addiction's a bitch. Demons, man, they are just waiting to get you. You know, for me, my final overdose, it ended me up dead for 2 minutes. And thank God, even though I don't think it was God, it was a paramedic, I feel like I let go. I just said, I'm not going to fight anymore. And it's something about in life when you let go of the rope, and all the demons fell on their ass.
I got sober when I was younger. When in 2001, I thought, you know, I want to just drink like a normal person, and I want to have wine at dinner and so on. I was able to. I was able to for about 8 years. I started to drink more and more and more, and it was really hard for me to accept that that meant I was an alcoholic. I was like, I can just go back. I was fine before. You know, I just need to take a break. I just need to slow down. I just need to, I'm okay. You know what I mean? This isn't me. I never thought I was gonna get divorced. I didn't want to get divorced. I didn't want to be a divorced person. I really didn't want to be a split family. And I wasn't who I thought I was. And that was so painful and so disappointing. There are things that I would love to go back and change. I have regrets. I made plenty of mistakes, some big, some small. I wish I could go back.
Everything, not being in control, not knowing, anticipation, like waiting for something to go wrong. I'm an addict and alcoholic, so I have my ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that sort of, my head is a bit wonky. It's like Everest is obvious to climb because it's there, it's a mountain. Personal Everests, you know, you can't see them, you know, and that journey to the top of the mountain and back down again is fraught with hazards, and no one can see it but you. So letting people in to help, you know, when you can't trust, you know, and when you have to trust, and then, you know, endeavouring to make the journey within yourself to do something, you know, to achieve. There's going to be someone there who's got the right pair of ears at the right time and might pass you on to the right person. So never give up on the dream. Everything that's brought me to where I am today is supposed to happen, innit? I'm really grateful to be here, mate. I want to help other people, and I'm really grateful for the things that have happened in my life. It could have gone the wrong way.
For me, the success of the band was never really the thing that was the problem. I mean, a lot of my stuff I was carrying around for a long time, and then it was also like the relationship, you know, honestly, between my ex-wife and I at the time, really played a huge role in kind of how I viewed the world and kind of how I secluded myself in a lot of ways from people, because when your home life is so weird, you kind of don't want people to see a lot of it. So you kind of, you know, you just let people see a little bit of it. But when you do that, you kind of find yourself really not knowing who you are. And I knew that it got to a point where the person that I was, that I knew who I was in my mind and in my soul, I wasn't being that person outwardly in the world. And so that kind of fucks with you a little bit. It was more of a personal, spiritual journey.
The disease of alcoholism and addiction is about selfishness and self-centeredness. Well, the thing about recovery, without getting too specific, is that it's really not a self-help dynamic. What it is a dynamic of helping others. Very few people stay sober. It's actually like 5% of alcoholics, and the other 95%, they say, die drunk of causes related directly to alcoholism or respectively drug abuse. Treatment of it, you know, it's helping others. So yeah, that's what we do. We yearn to find people to help, you know, find their way in sobriety. So anybody who's struggling, us sober people love it when you reach out for help. Yeah. You know, like you join the pack. You know, find someone who's already sober and you know, let us show you the way.
You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they closed that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book?
Feels like I'm standing on the edge of the platform now. Maybe somehow I'll fall. Walking miles inside, I know it's true. This soul has holes like you. And I watch the train get closer into the station, and I beg and send me on a permanent vacation, a new destination. Sometimes the only way to save me is by making space for someone else. When I feel the world surround me, can I be the strength for someone else? Hey mister, tell me, can you hear me? 'Cause I'm down and out, maybe just lost and found. And it's crazy what I'm saying, but I'm praying and I don't know you. But maybe you could just hear me out. And I watch the train get closer into the station, and I walked up to the doors and watched them part. And I met this man without a hesitation, a new destination. Sometimes the only way to save me is by making space for someone else. When I feel the world surround me, can I be the strength for someone else? Sometimes the only way to save me is by holding space for someone else.
Best advice for my own era, I guess, is a prayer first used by alcoholics who hope to never take a drink again. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.